Welcome viewers, this is KDR TV. My name is Roselene Omweri and I'm going on with the topic of divorce. As noted earlier in the earlier episode, we had started discussing divorce and the causes of divorce. In this topic, I'm going to mention some top causes of divorce, general causes. Then I will go further and mention some causes of divorce in the African immigrant community. So we will start with the top causes of divorce. What are these causes of divorce? First, I picked one that is marriage that happens too fast. Marriage that is rushed into can lead into divorce. For example, when two people come together, they fall in love and get married too fast without knowing each other, learning each other's weakness, getting to understand one another. When they end up marrying fast, get into marriage and start realizing the other person's weakness, this can cause a lot of trouble leading into divorce. So we need to learn, take time, have courtship, learn one another before we get into marriage for us to have long-lasting marriages. So that's one of the causes that can cause people getting into divorce. Marrying too fast, rushing into marriage. Second, I have the cause of communication breakdowns. Most people in marriages that have split or have separated, communication has been mentioned as one of the important aspects that was lacking. We tend to have people having issues or problems. Instead of communicating to one another to find out why this is happening and why there's a problem, they avoid communication. And as we all know, communication is a major aspect in marriage. If this fails, then there's no marriage. Hence the need of proper communication. Communicate everything, from the little things you can think of to big things. You need to communicate. This will lead us into healthy marriages and lasting marriages. Third, we have cheating and infidelity. This has been a major cause of divorce. So many marriages have broken because of this. When one partner is cheating on the other, they tend to be no trust. And once there's no trust, there's no marriage. And this causes us to split marriages. So cheating and infidelity causes a lot of troubles in marriages, leading to couples getting into separations. We have the fourth cause as bedroom boredom. Some people get bored. There's no motivation, there's no romance, there's no fun. So couples end up getting into boredom. And what do? They tend to look for that fun, that romance outside the marriage. This also makes us go into divorce or separations. The fifth aspect is money and financial issues. As we all know, money has been a major problem in divorce. And it has brought so many marriages to split. And it all begins with who is bringing what on the table, who is making decisions, If these are not well discussed between the two parties, then there'll be a lot of issues. Whatever amount of money that is being brought into the family should be discussed, should be agreed on how to be spent and what to be done with these finances, for you to avoid these separations and divorce. Money is the cause of so many evils, so we need to plan very well with our money and our finances for long-lasting marriages. We have a sixth aspect of loss of autonomy. And for this to be avoided or for this to be prevented, there's need for counseling before we get into our marriages, for us to know how are we going to behave in this marriage. What's your role in marriage as a man, and what's your role in marriage as a wife? Who is the head? Who is supposed to do this and who is supposed to do that? If this all is into place, then there'll be happy and healthy marriages. We have the seventh aspect as lack of romance. As you all know, ladies want to feel special. They want to feel happy. They want to feel loved. And on the other hand, men also want to be appreciated. The little things that can enhance romance in your marriages should be able to be done so that marriages can last. As little as a simple gift, a simple thank you card, having time together, could be things that could be done to enhance your marriages. We have another cause as differences in our background. People have been married from different backgrounds, and this has also caused a lot of trouble and caused a lot of divorces. It can be differences in backgrounds like economic backgrounds. It can be cultural background. All this should be put in place when you two are coming together and realize the other side, come up into agreement. Are you ready to get into this marriage with all these differences? Are you able to go across the board and marry into a different culture? Are you ready to learn their culture? Are you ready to learn and accept the culture and move on in marriage? If this doesn't happen, then there's no marriage. So the differences in our backgrounds are there. But if you two come together, learn and accept each other's differences, then marriages can work. We have a major cause, and our last cause as alcohol and drugs. We all know what alcohol and drugs have done to our marriages, to our children. When one is dependent on drugs, he cannot function in our society or as a family member. Alcohol messes with all and mostly everything that one is supposed to do. They stop being responsible. They neglect their responsibilities. They don't take care of themselves or their families because of this alcohol, bringing a lot of issues. There are in some cases whereby alcohol has caused some couples to be abused physically or even emotionally, causing them to separate. So these are just the top 10 reasons why divorce happens, some of the causes that make people divorce in our society. So we will go ahead and focus mainly on why do we have divorce in our African immigrants? Why is it on the rise? They could be the same reasons, but just slightly different because of our African community, our African society, our African culture. And I just want us to go through these 7 points that could be slightly different, or just emphasizing the African culture in us. And why so? Because back home in our African society, divorce was not so common like nowadays. But now it's a day-to-day thing. It's happening daily. So why? Why should it happen? As immigrants, we go through a lot of stress. As discussed in our last episodes, you've seen how stress has affected us as immigrants in this country. And that is one of the reasons that there could be a lot of stress causing us to go through this divorce. So we want to go step by step and see what are the differences, what are the causes. So my first cause that I've been able to identify is forced separation of couples for a long time. When couples are separated for a long time, they give room to temptations and marriage temptations. I could give an example of migration. We migrated to this country, and some of us came both as a couple, and others came one, then the other partner was following them, leaving or separating families for us to come to this country for better opportunities. So that separation, long distance, led to so many couples getting tempted, getting forced into things that they could have not done if they could have not moved or left their partners back home. So that has been one of our major causes. And for some reasons, the partners that came were not able to bring their families back here. And so they have lived separate for a long time, supporting their families back home and trying to see how they can make their life here. This has also caused a lot of separations and divorce. 2, we have absence of extended family and support. As you know, earlier on back home in our African culture, we had a lot of extended family living with us. We had our aunts, our grandmothers, our uncles, and we would go to them if we needed support, if we needed encouragement, if we needed intervention, if we needed advice in anything, in our marriage, in our problems. But here we are, alone. Nobody to go to for help. Nobody, no close extended family to us to help us when we get into problems. This is a major, major trouble that we are facing. And it has caused a lot of issues, caused a lot of trouble, making families separate because they don't have any help, they don't have any advice. And hence divorce increase in our African immigrant society. 3rd, we have lack of guidance and counseling on reunion and rebonding process. For example, the marriages are not easy. There's daily fights, daily quarrels. In the modern society that we are in now, people result into separation. They don't have guidance. They don't have someone to go to and explain or tell their trouble and get good guidance. You get a friend, you tell something, the next thing you hear it on a different level, someone talking about it. So you have nobody to trust. You don't know where to go to. So this lack of guidance has cost us our marriages. It has made divorce be on the rise. Fourth, we have a ready market for love without responsibility. People fall in love, stay together, no responsibility. Unlike before, you were to get ready for marriage, get married, and take your responsibility as a married partner. Take care of your family. But now we have ready market for love. As you all know what is going on the social media. People meeting and falling in love on the social media. No responsibility, no commitment. They hence end up in marriage. After a few months, few weeks, divorce. So the readily available market has also caused this. Five is marriage for convenience, whereby both or one partner aim to gain something in marriage. They can easily walk in and walk out in marriage. They have a goal to achieve, and thus ending up marrying someone for convenience to accomplish their goal. I would give a good example of someone trying to go to school and has no support. Find someone who can be easily supporting her to go to school, support her to go to school, finish her education. Behind her mind, she knows her goal. She's not interested in this marriage. After the school is done, the marriage is over. Marriage for convenience. It could be both or one partner. What is left is divorce after one has gained their goal. And that is why there's divorce on the rise. The sixth point is the upward mobility for women as they progress professionally, whereas their spouse, the men, stagnate. And this is happening in our African society. We have women that have come up and picked up the roles that they can. They're going to school, working hard to support their families. But for some reasons, the men are stagnating behind, for reasons best known to them. This has caused a lot of issues, a lot of troubles in their marriages, and hence divorce. I would pick a good example with the Somalis. They've come up. The ladies are all going to school, getting their profession. I would encourage each and every partner, both men and women, to come up and help one another, going to school and professionally developing. And this would be able to prevent this divorce and separations. Our seventh and last point is changing gender roles by default. Hence, women becoming breadwinners, as compared to our African culture, whereby men were the breadwinners. But in this society, we have these changing roles. Women have been empowered. Women have professions. Women are going to school. Back in our African society, women were housewives. But here they are now empowered and going to school. This has also been a problem causing marriage separations and divorce. Why? Because men feel like the ego to control as an African culture has been reduced. And this is also a cause of separations in our families. So, in summary, we've just discussed about some top causes of why divorce is happening, and especially why this divorce has been happening or is happening in our African immigrant society. In our next topic, we are going to see how we are going to be preventing this. What can we do to avoid this? What are some of the ways that can help us so that this divorce that is on the rise can be minimized? Or how can our families stay together? Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Subscribe to KDR TV. Thank you. Bye.